steamy world, the conifers that had dominated the forests of the dinosaurs were now being replaced by broad-leafed, flowering rainforest trees. Some live on, here in Tasmania's forests. These leaves belong to a characteristic Gondwanan tree, the southern beech, Notophagus. You can still find Notophagus on the Australian mainland, in South America, and even Antarctica, as fossils. They're a reminder of the days when Tasmania was holding the last of the Gondwanan Brotherhood together.
At the time, you could have walked all the way from Australia via Tasmania and Antarctica to South America without ever leaving the green embrace of the great Gondwanan forest.
And it was through this green transantarctic highway that marsupial mammals scurried out of the forests of South America and onto Australian soil. Marsupials, mammals with a pouch to carry their young, now dominate Australia. But marsupials were neither the first nor the only mammals in the country. They found themselves mingling with the monotremes, curious furry enigmas like the platypus that still laid eggs. A legacy from their distant reptilian ancestors. Only 2 types of monotreme live on our planet today, and they're both a little peculiar.
Now this little guy, of course, he's a truly famous Australian. It's the echidna or tachyglossus, and it's one of the true survivors for the early ages of mammals. And we know that because it lays eggs like the platypus. He's tunnelling to China, I think.
But there's another group of survivors from those Mesozoic times with even closer reptilian affinities than the echidna. And they still inhabit the forests of their forebears. One type of feathered dinosaur did survive the Great Extinction. Today, we call them birds. Come eye to eye with the flightless cassowary, and the close family connection is hard to miss. While cassowaries owe their existence to the dinosaurs, the rainforests of tropical Queensland owe their existence to the birds. It's a chain of connection that links down through time, all the way to the Hewitt family, modern human residents of the ancient rainforest at Cooper Creek. The cassowary has evolved to become a modern distributor of forest fruits and seeds, a job likely first done by herbivorous dinosaurs.
This is the cassowary plum. The cassowary is the only animal large enough to be able to swallow this fruit whole, and in doing so, increase its germination rate from 7% to an ultimate 92%.
In a complex relationship for mutual advantage, at least 37 species of rainforest tree rely on the cassowary for dispersal. It's a big job. but someone's got to do it.
Swanton Peak is the place that gets well over 10 metres of
Neil
rain a
Hewitt
year.
makes a living here too, sharing the rich botanical heritage of his 130 million-year-old back garden with visitors like me.
Here in the Cooper Valley is the world's richest diversity of primitive flowering plant families found anywhere on the planet.
These rainforests are extremely old, far older than the Amazon, and probably the oldest continuously surviving jungle in the world. Today, they cover less than 1% of the surface of Australia. It seems hard to believe that for so many millions of years, most of this now arid continent was festooned with forests of almost unimaginable richness. All that changed the moment that Tasmania finally let go of Antarctica. And with the apron strings torn asunder, sometime between 30 and 40 million years ago, Australia sailed free from the rest of the world.
When not only Australia, but the Patagonian tip of South America also let go of Antarctica, cold ocean currents were able to sweep freely around the southern continent for the very first time. And Antarctica's fate was sealed.
Encircled by icy currents, Antarctica and all who sailed on her began to freeze solid. Australia, loaded to the gunwales with Gondwanan refugees, set course for the tropics. A raft of life, adrift on a sea of change. And as it drifted, it dried. It was more than a passage into warmer climates. The freezing of Antarctica had taken much of the planet's available fresh water with it. This was the trigger for one of the planet's great biological experiments. Isolated and alone now, Australia's plants and animals began taking on their own unique identity. A remarkable rocky record of this defining moment has been found at Riversley in northwest Queensland. When the fossil window reopens in the rugged limestone hills here, it opens with a bang. For prehistoric animal hunters like Mike Archer, Riversley is one of the richest caches on the continent.